Good afternoon, everyone. We have our new mask making app. It's Scrappy. It's heart embellishments done with book pages and scraps. It's quite a title, and I've never done these. I did one practice today because I had never done them before, and I saw it on a video by Meliane Pylant. So here we go. We're going to make our second one together. As you can see, that's what they look like. So let's begin. I grabbed a large dictionary page. I got this in Ontario, and I have a few small ones. The first one I did was done with this size. And so this one I'm going to do with this size. So basically you're just going to grab your scraps and start placing them on. All different sizes. It doesn't matter. It's up to you how you want to go with it. Now, in it, she tells you not to ink the papers, but see, I have some of this white, so I'm going to try to trim it off without kind of ruining that edge. But sometimes what I'll do is because, oh my, it was just here. How could I have lost it already? I tell you, folks, I put things down all the time and lose them. I don't want it to look so white around the edges, so she says not to ink, but sometimes I think getting rid of that white so it doesn't draw away is fine. So I just kind of covered up some of those whites. Now in this case, it doesn't matter if you go over, and again, it's trying not to think about it. I forgot a glue stick, of all things to forget. I even double checked to make sure I had all my supplies here, and I still forgot something. Now, I'm not worried about putting glue on this because eventually it's all going to have glue anyways. So I'm going to put that there. Actually, I don't think I want that flower out as much. So what we might do in that case, for instance, I'm going to grab a little piece of paper here because I kind of want that flower, but I want that on an angle. So we're just going to put this in the corner. And there we go. So we're just going to basically go ahead and grab paper and put it on here. Just looking through my papers here. See what I would like to do next. I think I want some flowers. Do I have some flowers somewhere? Yes, I do. The question is, do I want it all that big in one spot? No. Maybe we'll do it like this. And like overlapping is perfect because when you go to cut the hearts, you're going to see how it works. You want little, you don't want it to be big chunks as much as possible. I'll show you as we continue going on. You can in some places. I did in some places, and then I kind of over-filled them in places. And yes, I'm going to be putting book pages on top of book pages. Part of that is because it strengthens the paper that we're using to make the embellishment just a little more sturdy. Earlier, what I tried to do is I tried to do 2 at a time, but I couldn't concentrate on each of them. I was trying too hard. Let's see what else. I gotta make sure I rip that part off. I'm just gonna leave that like that for now. Sometimes I'll lay a piece too, just to, kind of see where I want to go with it. Just roughen up my edges. Again, I don't want all that white. I want it to... Now, really in this, you need an ink pad. And if you don't have it, just don't ink it. That is, and when you can, that's a good add one of the things I will definitely say to add into your, get an ink pad and one of these if you're just starting out. Many of us in this group, we've been doing this for a while, but we do have some new people, and I love that. I love getting new people that want to learn. So here we go. That still didn't quite work, but that's fine. That's the idea of it, is just looking for the right little piece to put in there. What I did is I went and got little scraps and big scraps, and that way I can tear them. Like, I'm not going to ink that one because I don't really need to. I'm going to tear that there. And don't worry about the paper overlapping on the top. I'll show you what we'll do with that later. And this is a good way, like, I don't know if I would ever use this piece in a cluster. So it's kind of a good way to use up some of those scraps maybe you held on to, but now you're saying, how in the world would I use that in a cluster? Sometimes that happens. As you can see, I don't always ink, just depending on the paper. Again, I keep forgetting to bring paper flying, paper flying. Now, this, sometimes I won't use in a thing, but I'll use this to make a stamp there. And then, you know, what I'll do here is do that, because I'll put that somewhere. I think I'll rip off some of that, more of that white. Gotta empty my garbage can. I'm sorry, I have, I'm doing a cluster video. I made a great cluster video, not yesterday, the day before. I used a new app so that I could not lose my videos. I learned how to use that app. I was learning how to upload, and somehow I did something and erased the whole video. I lost the whole video. So yesterday I was so frustrated because I spent all day learning those amps, filming, and then trying to figure out how to get it up. And then when I finally got it up, it was blank. I did something. I'm not sure what I did. So yesterday I was so frustrated. I just craft. That's all I did. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any of my Scentsy. I didn't do anything for anybody. I started a new journal. That's what I did. I'm trying a new style with the rings. That's what I did yesterday. I just had a me craft day because I was so frustrated with myself. And what I did, still to this moment, I'm not sure what I did. Really don't. See, I don't like how white that is. Oh, I need ink on that. So for me, I want to take some of the whiteness away from that. It's too white. Like that. Sometimes I'll just put the glue on the paper, especially because I'm leaving some of that off, so I'm not sure how I want it to do it. I had a really nice piece of paper here a second ago that I thought would be perfect, and I lost it. You could probably even use doilies if you wanted to, but I'm not, because I'm not sure how they will, when you cut them small, if it would actually show. It's something I would have to try later. And don't, you know, use different types of paper. Use, you know, this is just some graph paper. I think I found it at the thrift store in Guelph, Ontario. And it's just left over from something I trimmed off of. And I save all of this. Ooh, I'm sticking. What I think I want to do with this, oops, almost ruined my dabber. I'm going to use some of this Victorian velvet, I think, instead of the ink, just to give it, take away from some of its whiteness. It's one of my second favorite. It's called is Distress Oxide Victorian Velvet. I find that it's perfect for adding. In this case, I'm just gonna do this. That little piece of glue. Ugh, it's stuck in my hand. There we go. Put that there. Go through that along there. And I'm really trying to use up some of these little pieces I have, because they're out of control. I'm to the point where maybe it's time to say goodbye to some of them. So that's why I'm kind of I think I am going to love doing these. I think I could sit all afternoon because I love doing masterboards. I love hearts. Love hearts. I really do. Now, this I'm just throwing on here. Probably the majority of it's going to be covered up. But, you know, I don't see where I would use this again. So I'm just going to throw it on here. And whatever happens to it. As you can see, I'm just random. See, I started another one. That's one I was trying to do at the same time as the other one. But it didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. What I'm going to do with this video, because I found that in the event, I don't know how yet to get the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it to my YouTube, and then what I'll do is put the link to it in the event. It's just something I'm going to have to see and learn how to do, but it may take me a week or two to figure that out. So I wanted to get this in there. And again, with the mask making, place your what you've done. If you've made masterboards, get them the pictures up. Everyone who posts their picture of the masterboard that they made, they're going into a draw at the end of the September, and you could win something special from me. And that's for participating. And then at the end of the month, with all 4 of the mask making, we're going to do an event. So I'm going to take some of these hearts, probably 3 or 4 or 5 maybe, put it in for the swap, as well as my masterboard, I'll put a smaller master board. Probably it's best maybe to do this size, so that the big one, it would be much more to, you need a very large thing, envelope. So just on maybe a smaller, add in a little master board into it. One or two, it's up to you. One or two small master boards. You know, you can put as many hearts anywhere. I want at least 3, and anything beyond that's your choice. And then the next 2 mass makings, again, you'll make a choice how much you want a thing. And at the end, I'll probably put the event up this week, the swap, and you can sign up, and you will share your mass making as well as building your own stock. So then you'll add a little bit more variety to your mass making as well with somebody else's work. Now, don't worry about, I used to always worry about words going the right way. You don't really have to do that, because especially in this, you're probably only going to see bits and pieces, and I think it adds some character. Again, I'm not putting a lot. I'm just trying to take away some of that whiteness to it. Actually, what I'm going to do is pull this down. Still got a little glue on the front of that. Ugh. That's okay. Never know. I might end up putting something over it anyways. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? And adding different types of paper in different places. And like these little pieces, trust me, they really do add to the masterboard when you're finished and when you cut the hearts out. I learned that. I'm hoping with this bigger one, I want to see how it turns out. Now, I just cut myself a heart shape. Thought I'd use I have a heart punch, but it was a little smaller than I wanted. But I mean, if I have space somewhere and I need a small one, I could always do a couple small ones as well. That would be perfect even on a cluster. So many ways you can use it, right? Let's throw that in. And even though some of this stuff, I thought when I was first doing this, to add something a little bit different, I thought, oh, you know what? Let me pull out a ticket. A ticket would be nice somewhere on here too, to add some, a little bit of change somewhere, like right here. So that ticket might end up there. So yes, use your scraps, but if you have something like that, I thought these tickets, these numbers I have, even maybe a couple of those in there. This is from my pink Monarch prints. She has great things for using. This is Artie Mays. She's another one of my favorites, Artie Mays. I get a lot of hers. And then this is my white cat journal. So I got some of these things and different ones, and these are basically like scraps that she made, but she made a digital, right? So like something like that in here, or anywhere. Well, maybe right there as I'm talking. There we go. Now I'm going to just edge that up a little. That's just me. I like doing it. I can't control myself. And as you can see, my channel is slowly coming together. I've only got so far one video up there, and not a great video, but I mean, it's a good teaching video, but I mean, I have to learn a flow and things like that. That's all. That'll all come in time as I learn, and I'm glad you're coming along. Oh, this one would be great for. This would be great. I was just thinking as I was gathering my supplies, how I would love to get a star and do this as well. I thought, oh, that would be interesting. A star. With scraps, taking different Christmas papers, making stars. Even a heart would be nice too. But, or ornaments. How beautiful would ornaments be? Now that I say that. ornaments would be really nice. I'm going to have to try that. But I don't want to pull out my Christmas stuff yet. It's hard for me not to, because trust me, I love Christmas. Actually, it's funny, I do love summer. Don't get me wrong. But the funny part is, I'm a decorator. And yeah, I put a few decorations up for the summer, but it's not like fall, and it's not like Halloween and those type of things. It's just not the same to me. When it comes to decorating. And then Christmas is my favorite season. It's hard. I'm fortunate because here in Canada, I do enjoy my different seasons. And I do love snow. The first snow falls in the first few. I even love sometimes a storm every once in a while. I love snow. What I don't like in Canada is when it gets to minus 40 Celsius. I don't know. 40 Fahrenheit. I don't know. Whatever our temperature here is, Canada. Terrible with Fahrenheit and Celsius. But it gets cold. And I don't like that weather. That I could do less with. A bit of snow here and there. Perfect. Anything else? Not so much. See, I told you sometimes I'm overthinking. Some of these scraps, I know it looks like it's a big page. Sometimes I print the wrong thing off, or I thought I wanted to use it, and I ended up not using it. So I end up with some of these larger scraps, or sometimes I print it off for these, because I'll cut around this form like this, and do things like that. So I'm making one corner of this, trying to do it a little bit more of a teal. It's more I'm making a journal for my niece. So I'm hoping I'll get a nice teal heart that I can throw in her journal. So if you see one corner where I'm kind of concentrating with maybe more of a teal color, that is why. Oh, my computer just shut off. It got very quiet all of a sudden. Perfect. I don't know how many minutes we are into yet. That's also something I'm learning, is trying to work faster. But at the same time, if people are learning this, I don't want to work too fast, and thus, they don't get anything from it. This was a learning for me, so, I was appreciated working with. Oh, you know what? I have this little piece of paper bag. I say paper bags. I love now that here in Canada we have more and more, no more plastic, and you pay for a paper bag. I don't mind paying 25 cents for a paper bag, because I then recycle it and use it to stamp on, use it in clusters, all kinds of different ways. So I never worry. Do I have anything more? The only reason I'm doing this is I'm looking for something a little more teal for this one little corner without. To see what happens here. Ooh, I got that a little big. Maybe go this way. I wanted to flower somehow on that. But normally I wouldn't cut it, but I want to use that teal somewhere else, so and in this case, I don't like as much of that white showing. And the paper I'm using is actually, the scrap I'm using is actually from her journal. I made a mistake when printing it off. For some reason this digital I bought, I get the white lines, and my other paper isn't like that, and I don't know how to fix that yet. I just don't know how. If anybody knows how, please let me know, because I would love it. It doesn't happen to many of them. It just happens to this one digital I bought. Maybe that's too much teal. So let's just throw this in here. I don't like this. Hands are so sticky. I ran out of, usually I keep baby wipes, a package of baby wipes close by, but I forgot. Haven't eaten lunch. My stomach is growling. I hope you don't hear it. I wanted to get this video done because I find sometimes I'm bad at procrastinating. So I wanted to get it done. Done. I don't know why I keep closing that stamp pad. I'm trying to tell myself not to ink. But I'm not succeeding. And again, like some places maybe where I have more words or that, when I cut the heart out, I probably could put like, do I have them here? You can put words on them. I could put a button on it. Well, that button actually suits it very well. As well as I was thinking if I wanted to add another little flower here to just make it pop a little more. All depends on where I'm using it and how I'm going to use it. If I'm going to use it as a background on it, or if this itself going to be the embellishment at the bottom of the page. You know, it all depends on. That's why I didn't decorate mine now. I know when Meliane Pylant does hers, she embellishes them right away. I don't, because I like to just have them ready to be used for whatever I'm doing. So I don't embellish. The wonderful thing when you buy digitals, sometimes I'm bad because I'll see a favorite one. Oh, I don't want to use that one, but forgetting that I can just reprint it. And it's also great that I'm on the HP ink program. If you ever want to know about it, just ask me. It is the best thing I ever did. I'm not afraid to print anymore. Before I would like, oh, and if I made a mistake, I was worried. Last night I ran out of ink halfway through printing. I got one part of it, and the parts that were faded I ripped off and I used them in scraps. It's actually, did I use one of the this Paris was supposed to be a whole journal card, and I only got top half of the journal card. So I ripped off the faded part and I kept the scrap and I used it on this. And I have a Paris journal I'm working on, so it will go perfectly in that Paris journal as an embellishment on a bottom of a page. So, you know, when you make mistakes, you can still use the stuff in other ways. I'm trying to think of what else I want to put there. I have a habit because I do love flowers. This is cardstock. I'm still going to go ahead and use it. As you can see, I use it to punch out whale tails, hearts. I make buttons, so sometimes these are the buttons that I've used. And because in one spot here, I don't want to waste it, I'm going to just go ahead and punch it out because it'll become a button. So I'm just going to put it off to the side because of it. Basically, I'm going to cut some of this because I want to cut the shape of the heart away. See, and like this little piece, I would never throw that away. Again, I would see if my heart fits in there. My heart is too big there, but my small heart fits. I never waste it. Every piece of paper you can do something with, and that's how I look at it. I'm just doing that so I can tear easier. Oh, I see a place that needs a little more glue. And that happens even when you're doing this. Sometimes, even when I cut out my heart, I noticed a couple places that I didn't get enough glue. You just go back and edge it down. That's easy to do. Cardstock is a little harder to tear. But how do I want to use this? Maybe like that. I think this is too edgy. And I think this looks better inked to give it kind of that Finchy vibe that I want to give it. Oh, now I almost wished, is that too glued down now? No, sometimes I do this because I kind of want that to show more. Yes, I think that's exactly where I want to put it. Exactly where I want to put it. Lift you up, glue you. Now the cardstock here is going to make it really sturdy, but because it's an embellishment, it doesn't matter. It's just, I was making buttons out of that cardstock, and I thought, at first I was not going to use it because I thought, oh no, that's for my buttons. And I thought, well, I got to go to Michael's. I have ran out of white cardstock. I went on Amazon, and here in Canada, for 50 pages, they want it $32. I'll go to Michael's and grab it. But now, lately, I've been going to what we call Bureau on Grove here, which I think is Office Depot in rest of Canada and US, and I can get I think it's $250 for $22.99. So it even beats Michael's price. Our Michael's here in Canada, I don't know if you feel it in the States, has no stock. The other day I went to, even online, I was looking for Tim Holtz stamps. Sometimes I'm looking for a new color. So, and I couldn't find it. And I was really disappointed that Michael's didn't have it. No Tim Holtz. They had one ink pad and only one, the sprays. Our stock is terrible, and even online it's terrible. And as it is, Michael's prices here in Canada is outrageous. I know it's a little more expensive in the States, but at least in the States you get it, and I find the Michael's there get some better sales. But you guys have Joanne Fabrics and Hobby Lobby and a few other little things that we don't have. We have one craft store, Michael's. So there's no competition. And as you heard, it has no stock. So I'm always I get frustrated at times. Don't think I can use that, so that can go back in there. I have just a little more space to cover, and I'm not sure what to do. Maybe some music. Do I have some music? Let's use music. Maybe in this one. These are just smaller boxes. I threw a selection of music in and different papers because I have so many scraps. That's too small, so maybe it's this one we're going for. See, again, I don't want to cover the flower up. So, but in this case, I do want this. Oh, things are sticking to my finger. I don't want it to be so white, because then it just stands out too much. Okay, I need a piece of paper to ink onto, because everything, I don't want to get all that all gooey. I only have a certain time to do the videos. One, my cats go, when I'm first up at this time of day, they kind of go crazy with attention. And my one cat loves to eat, and I've got a bad habit. She annoys me. She knows how to get me to feed her, because she sits at my feet and meows and meows and meows. And then I give in to her, and she's a little tubby thing. But sometimes the only way I can get things done is just to give in to her. And then to get her to sleep, I have some paper bags from a couple stores, Torrid and things like that, and I have my beach bag. I throw it on the bed, and if I put something on the bed like that, she'll curl up and sleep in it forever. So just before I started the video, I gave her a little food to satisfy her tummy and her craving, her obsession with food. And I put her in bed. Sounds funny, but I literally put her in bed. It is exactly what I did. I stuck my cat in bed. I was like, that's it, Boo-Boo. Sleep you go. Her name is Boo, but I never liked calling her Boo, because I got two cats just a little after my Guido of 16 or 17 years passed. I had to make that hard decision and put him down to sleep. His name was Guido Sarducci. When I was married, I made a deal with my husband. If I got a cat, he didn't want some silly names, probably like what I did, Peek and Boo. He didn't want Cuddles or Bubbles and that. So he named her. And his favorite Saturday Night Live character was Guido Sarducci. So my first cat got Guido Sarducci. And then with Guido, I did get another cat for a while, but she didn't have a very long life. She was found abandoned very young, and she was sick even when I got her. And the vet did tell me, don't expect a long lifespan from her. But you know what? She needed to be loved, and she needed somebody. So I took her. She only lived 3 years. And her name was Sanger. Oh, I can't even pronounce it right now. But anyways, my husband at the time named her. And we were in getting Chinese food, and he seen this bottle, and he named her after that. But these two cats, I was divorced, and they were my cats, and they were rescues as well. And all my cats have been rescues. And I named them Peek-a-Boo. But when I now that you see I've done it all, I'm thinking I might need to add, because this is doesn't have a lot of, because you kind of want to have some contrasting things when you cut it. Maybe something like that. I don't know how that'll work. I don't know how it's going to work. But again, I could have cut it off, but I don't want to waste the other half of that digital. So it's going to go somewhere else. Maybe up here. See? Terrible, isn't it, when you don't want to waste? Oh, and it doesn't want to glue. It's gluing to my finger, but it won't glue to the paper. But the good news yesterday, and what took up a lot of my day, I started a group. It's been a couple of years ago, for people like me who have home business with, at time it was Avon and Scentsy. and I found other people in my hometown of Guelph, and I started like an online market where we would have events and things like that. And I've met a few ladies over the time, and one of the ladies that used to do Pampered Chef in it, we haven't done it in a while because I started to build this. Before I'll finish the story, what I'm now going to do is I'm just going to flip this over, and then I'm going to trim it. So all out of the blue, she sent me a message in the morning. She goes, I have a friend that's looking for a journal like what you make. And she says, I'm going to start a group chat and introduce you, the two of you. And so she's asked for a journal. I spent a good time speaking with her about it, showing her different things I've done. And then she asked me, she educates people on essential oils. She's also a reflexologist, and she's studying to be a PSW. So she's really into the healing. And so she asked me if I could make a journal around that. And I'm like, well, that's something really new to me. So I started to, look at Etsy, free printables, and I think I'll go along the essential oil way, using like lavender and tree oil and find pictures and put it together. So, and it's very new type of journal for me. So I'm worried at the same time because she's just new. So I'm just trying to decide. So now we have our master board done. So now we're going to flip it over. I just cut out this heart from a piece of paper. I folded it over. You can decide the size you want. If you want bigger hearts, that's fine. I just found this a perfect size for doing an embellishment. And then I also thought, well, I might do some in this size to add to clusters. So I did keep that there. I was sure I put a pencil here. I did. And just a little bit further behind me. So then you just I use pencil. You can use a black marker if you want, but pencil is just the way I'm going. And so you just trace your hearts on there. And these will be great, to have on hand for your projects. But as well, if you're sending some happy mail, what a beautiful way to send a happy mail, or even to put on the front of an envelope. There's a reason I'm not, I could probably go sideways in that, because I'll use the bottom parts. That's not a problem for me. So I'm putting them as close as possible. That way I get as much use out of this paper as possible. Oh, you know what? I forgot one step, and I'm just going to finish this heart. I'm going to show you. Now, if you don't have this, you don't have to. I didn't have it for a long time, but now I have it. I love it. I use it for all kinds of different things. It's just gesso, acrylic gesso. I bought this on Amazon, and it was not very expensive, and it lasts forever. And I'm just using my finger. But you can take the white gesso, and you might want to, it just adds, in places you want to do it, or you can leave it the way it is if you want to. It just depends how you like things. I thought it looked nice when she did it, so I got a little too much there. Oh, that's okay. I'll just dab it like that. And again, it's up to you if you want to use it. You don't have to, or if you don't have it. And I'm going to be covered in it. There we go. And I'm only wearing pajamas. So, but again, if I had a baby white. Now, I didn't do as much as I did in the other one because I wanted to. And if you wanted to add more to it, you could spray them with some nice spray. I don't have many of them. with, like, I have a couple of Lindsay, you could spray a couple. The turquoise section, when I cut it out, all of that, I bought that specifically for doing my nieces. So you could add gesso just to give it, fade it in some places, give it another kind of look. Oops. Oh, I keep doing that in the same spot. Well, I'm going to get a good amount of hearts off of this one paper. All right, now I'm at 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 hearts off of this. Now I have, if you're interested in a few sheets of this, I do sell paper packs. I can make a paper pack up of it, depending how many sheets you want. It would vary the price. Most of my paper packs average around $10 and different shipping depending on where you're located. But if you wanted this specifically, or you just wanted a few sheets, you know, if you wanted 3 or 4 sheets of this large thing, I would easily I'd give you a price for it. Just message me. I don't mind doing that. I have quite a bit. I found it, sorry, I can't speak, in a thrift store. No, I didn't. I went to a big Legion up at my sister's trailer every year. And then you're just going to cut out your heart like that. And there you go. Now see, I don't waste these because I do make homemade buttons. See, now I added that in there and I didn't even need that. But I make homemade buttons. So I'm going to punch that out. And there, I didn't lose some of that graphic. And I'll use it. And then the same in this bigger spot. Now I have these punches. And as you can see, I even have I've got 3. I got to sharpen this one. This one's getting dull. I have 3 heart punches. That tells you how much I love hearts. It's okay that, because basically all I'm going to do is I can trim that up. And there we go. I think a reason it didn't cut well is because it was still... That's why sometimes I'll go and cut in the middle, but because I'm going to use every little space of this I can, of this masterboard, and get as many things as possible. And if you ever want heart shapes, again, I have them in my store, PurpleHeartsCreationsbyChrissy. It's a Facebook group, and if you're interested, you can just message me. See, now I keep looking at this thinking, can I get another button out of this? Oh, I can. Look at that. Waste not. And I can do punches for you. I also sell the buttons. They're also in my group as well, Purple Heart Creations. And on YouTube, I do have a link that goes directly to it. These are turning out so nice. These are very shabby chic. My next one, which I won't do online, but I'll show you the pictures of it, is I think I'm going to do some really grungy ones with spray paints and things like that. Now, if you want to see the video of me using different textures like spray paints and making it not so shabby chic, but more grunge, let me know, and I'll gladly do another video tomorrow. Maybe I'll do 2 videos, a cluster video and the other one, because I had a late start to the day because I stayed up really, really late last night. Really late. I was up till 3 because I got working on that journal and I couldn't stop. I was in a groove. I was just a grooving. So I didn't want to stop. And as you can see, I have different punches. I have all kinds of punches. I have invested over the time. This wasn't all bought at one time. I had a different heart one. It broke, so I had to buy a new heart punch. Again, Amazon. I'm going to have to get an Amazon store front so I can... But for me, here in Canada, our Amazon is different. Our Amazon is more pricey. We don't have as much choice as you guys. In the States, you guys have a lot more selection than we do. A lot more. Now, if you say, Christina, I would like a paper pack and some buttons and some different things, can we do a barter? I can always barter with you sending me something from Amazon that is on my wish list in the U.S. because I don't know how it works in the U.S. I'm not positive if how your shipping works. If you're a Prime member, if you get a better price than if you're not a Prime member, it's up to you. But if you want to barter with me and buy me something from Amazon, just let me know, and I will. You tell me what you all want, and I'll give you my list. And I'm not going to put a price on it. I will let you choose, and I'm just going to trust you. This is a way for me. I need to get off social assistance. I need to support myself, and I need to give myself a better life than what I'm having presently. Not that it's a bad life, because I'm one of those people that, I like to see the cup half full, but it's not been easy. I'm lucky because I'm one of those people that have a friend who lets me live in their apartment. Well, it's not even an apartment because I don't have my own kitchen, and I barter with him. I go upstairs and I cook meals for the family up there. I cook them dinner, and I help with babysitting at times. And I basically, because I do majority of the cooking for the family, I don't pay for groceries. Other than little things that for me personally, like my own real personal stuff, snacks, bottles of water, toilet paper, things like that. But not everybody is lucky like me that has somebody like that is nice enough to do that. Otherwise, I might have been on the streets. But I have family and friends too. That's how quickly life can change for you. I had a good job of 16 years, and poof, it was gone. And it changed my life. And so I have been trying different things to change things, and this is my love. And this is where I want to build my life. And because also with retirement, I'm 54, retirement's not for a bit, but at 54 you have to start, that doesn't go there, you have to start thinking that way, unfortunately. Especially at the cost of living nowadays. You gotta really think about it. So this is something at 65 and 70, if God blesses me to live that long, I can do and support myself, because I don't have a big retirement, because one, I've been unemployed for a while. Two, it's just not enough money anymore in today's economy. So I'm not begging people to support me. It is your choice. But just know this is me changing my life in a positive way with something I love to do. This is what it's all about. I worked retail. I love retail. Love it. I loved it. I love meeting people. That's me. I loved it. I loved the creativity of doing features and seeing new stock, and even when I worked for a private, more smaller stores, I worked for Winners. I loved helping people find outfits and clothing, and it was another form of creativity. And so I loved retail. Not the best paying job, but I loved it. But it was hard. It was stressful. When I worked for Additionelle, you had quotas to make. With winters, it was fast, fast, very fast paced, fast, fast. And when I was younger, in my 30s, whew, that was easy. But when I was getting into a little older and started to deal with arthritis, it became a little more difficult. But I loved the job. I loved the company. Loved the company. Unfortunately, new management came in and things happened. And my arthritis and my pace that I could no longer work at. But I got 16 wonderful years, and 3 of my besties in my life that have been amazing come from that. 2 of them I worked with, and one of them, her sister, always was a part. She'd come to Christmas parties and things like that. And then we started getting together. I started having them over for Christmas. And so her sister became my bestie too. And the 4 of us have an amazing friendship. And it's a long time going. And so I've been blessed through that company with many friends. And then I worked at a different store when I moved from Ontario to Quebec, and I had some good friends, and I keep up with them on Facebook. So, you know, I don't regret it, and I enjoyed my time, and now God has opened a different door, and I'm going through this door and trusting Him. This is in God's hands, you know. I don't want to be, I don't have to be rich. I'm not looking to be rich. I'm looking to support myself and live comfortably, and do some traveling. I am actually going away with my family to Cuba. My mom is getting older, and me and my sister, we will put it on credit card and we'll pay it off over the year. Most people don't travel that way, but my mom's time every year is a blessing to have her with me. And so me and my sister decided if we have to pay for the trip over the year so that we can create memories, that is what we will do. So with the help of my sister and my mom, I travel with them, and then I pay them back for my trip a little bit here and there. Not a lot. I'm very fortunate. Most people don't have that. But I have an amazing mom and an amazing sister, and we've gone through a lot together. And we are each other's strength, and we enjoy each other's company. We do travel together. Cuba, we've been to Cuba twice. Me and my mom went to Costa Rica together, and then me and my sister and mom went to Dominican Republic for a family wedding. So we do travel well together. Me and my mom went to Barbados when I was 30. So now you see, here are those wonderful hearts. How beautiful are these? And as you've seen, I cut out little hearts that I can use them embellishments and all kinds of different things. Right? And even this, I got kind of 2 that I can use in my turquoise journal. And even in that new journal. Oh, I just thought about that. Oh, some of these will be perfect as an embellishment on here. Oh, that's amazing. I'm so happy. They'll just go perfectly in that journal. So as you can see, and I wouldn't even have to add anything to this, but you could layer it with some lace and a button in the top corner. Let's just see if you have different stickers like this. You could put that on it. You could put words. I just want to grab. And then, like, for instance, even like my little embellishments, I make these up ahead. I have some smaller ones. I could add into a heart. Even if I wanted just to put it on the side, how pretty would that be? Let me move it up closer. Very simple, but there you go. One day I want to make some of these and sell. And when I talk about my homemade buttons, let me see if I can find one here that's a larger one. I've seen a smaller one. So that's one of my, if you can see it, homemade buttons. And I love how they look. See, then even with this one could be a little more neutral. So, I mean, they can just sit on there like that. I'm actually loving that. I might make a few of those up and keep them on hand. Let me see what else I have. I have these. Could end up being a double heart, or I could, play around with it that way as well. So there's a lot of ways you can use this, and it looks just as nice by itself. It could go, sorry guys, it actually just came to me while we were sitting there. Let me grab, I have these clusters. So, I could add it, it's a little too, I could add it into, it's a little big, but you know what I mean. I could add it in onto a cluster and even still put, a button. Where did my words go? I lost the words in my mess here. Oh, well, here's one, So, I could add to that. Now, I'm not liking it on that paper as much, but you know what I mean? Like using maybe, let me grab a smaller one. Might help. Again, so there you go. Put the heart, even the word on the heart. Now, this will be better too if I inking the heart. Because then the heart will stand out more on the cluster. Maybe I need a brighter one. But you see what I mean. You just play with it. Even putting a piece of lace underneath it would work, and, you can add it to a cluster. So there's lots of different things. It could be by itself. It could even, by only gluing a certain side down, it could be a little pocket. If you glued it this way and you glued a couple on top of each other, maybe you could make, let me just open a page and show you what I mean. I'm just going to move those out of the way. That's fine. The reason I'm grabbing this one is because it's right here. So maybe I could, up the side of this, put a row of these hearts, and I don't have to necessarily glue them all down all the way. They could be little pockets all the way up there. All right, and you could turn them around and just glue a little bit down and tuck a little something in each one of the pockets as well. I don't think I have any. This is too big, but you know what I mean? It could, it'd be cute with something just tiny up the top of it. So a lot of ways you can use them, just putting them in the bottom of a page. All right, just very simply. I'm just going to pull this doily out. We'll do that again. See, just different ways you can do things. Just had another thought as well, just giving you guys some ideas. We're finishing up now. I'm just going to show you this one last. So I could take one of these with a heart, and I probably would leave this off to the side hanging, and again, it's all up to you how you want to use it. So different ways you can use it. Very, and I love them. And look at how many I made in no time, and that's with talking. And look, two book pages, large dictionary and a small one, and look at this. Plus, then even look at all these smaller ones I got by not wasting my masterboard. I got all this other little things I can use, embellishments, make my buttons out of 2 masterboards. All right, and again, I love to see your finished products. I'll put these up, and let me know in the comments if you want to see the grunge one. And if you do, let me just comment that, and I'll make one doing more grungy. And if not, I'm probably still going to do it, and I will put up the pictures of them. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful afternoon.